Hi, it's Mitch from SportsChatPlace.com along with Ron Romanelli for this week's Ron's Take on college football Week 3 action. You know, Week 2 was a gem in college football. We saw it all. We had the big game in the Horseshoe in Columbus. We had upsets. We had FCS teams still knocking off FBS teams. Ron, what do you think of Week 2, and how does that carry us into Week 3?
Yeah, I mean, Week 2, it was a doozy. Plenty of great upsets. We saw Oregon take down Ohio State, and so many other, some coaching firing as well. So I think Week 3 is, it's going to be a nice week as well. Got some great games on tap, and I think we'll go over a few of them in the video.
Yes, we will. We'll head right to Tobacco Road, where Wake Forest takes on Florida State. Florida State looking to bounce back from one of the more miserable losses that you'll ever see, losing to an FCS team, Jacksonville State. Of course, Jacksonville State known for taking in a lot of transfers and having some top-notch talent, but knocking off Florida State in Tallahassee the week after they took Notre Dame to overtime. Ouch, that's got to leave a mark, because Florida State certainly did a lot for themselves as far as recruiting went in that Notre Dame game, and maybe gave it all back and then some with that loss to Jacksonville State. Ron?
Yeah, I mean, definitely an inexcusable loss for the Seminoles, but I like them bouncing back this week on the road. I'm still not ready to give up on this Florida State team. Plenty of talent on both sides of the ball. To just have to focus on the details. I mean, to be in that position to give up that Hail Mary type of play is just inexcusable. But I think the Seminoles bounce back. They figure it out. They're going to run the ball like they have all season. The first 2 games, they've ran the ball really well. They've also stopped the opposing rushing games from Notre Dame to Jacksonville State. Wake hasn't played a tough team yet this season, and I do think they're going to have a little bit of trouble with Florida State in this one. I know it's a road game for the Seminoles, but I'm going to take the points. We saw this spread open up at 6.5. It's been crashing down ever since to now 4.5. I'll take the points with Florida State, and I'll actually sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well.
I'm one of those people that I'm unaffected by line movement in that way. When I see a line moving in the direction that I want to be, I just put more money on it, and I'm on Wake Forest here, and I've hit it a couple times already. Go to our next game, go to Gainesville, where Florida is taking on Alabama. And, of course, these teams don't meet in the regular season all that often, playing opposite sides of the SEC, playing plenty in the SEC championship game, though, including last year, where I believe the Gators covered against Alabama in that one. But different Gator team here, different quarterback, and certainly the same Dan Mullen, who, as frustrated as he is with his team and himself, I think people that bet on the Gators last week more frustrated with him. Ron?
2 Gator wins, but 2 Gator non-covers. I've gone back and forth on this one all week. Obviously, I got my Gator hat on and my pennant behind me, so I'll be rooting for those Gators. But using my handicapping brain, I like the under in this one. The weather is going to be a little bit dicey in Gainesville on Saturday. Looks like 50% chance of rain, maybe some thunderstorms. We know how hot it can get in Gainesville, and I expect it's going to be a sold-out crowd. They might break the record, the most people in that stadium for Saturday. It looks like they will, but I think both teams are going to rely on their ground games. I know, Alabama has definitely aired it out plenty already this season, but I think with the weather being a factor, you're going to see 2 teams running the ball plenty of times. The Gators have done that effectively already this season, and they've also been able to stop the run. I like the under. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than many people think.
I think it's one thing to run the ball effectively on FAU and USF, and another thing to run the ball effectively on Alabama, especially if Alabama gets up on them, and they won't lose that option and won't be forced into throwing and becoming a one-dimensional offense. When you have a quarterback that really can't throw, telegraphs the ball, everyone knows where it's going. If I know where it's going, the defensive back certainly is. So I don't know. I don't like Florida's chances in this one against the Tide. I'm going to guess as prepared as Florida is for this one. I'm going to guess Nick Saban has his Tide geared up as well. We go to Happy Valley in Penn State. It's a whiteout in Happy Valley as the Nittany Lions host the Auburn Tigers, 2 of the better defenses in college football. Oh, boy, I love games like this, defensive struggles, and I expect to see a defense and offensive struggles.
Oh, yeah. I like these type of games as well. If you like defense, this is your type of game, in my opinion. I like the under for that reason. I mean, I was a bit surprised to see this total open up in the 50s. I would have thought it would be in the high 40s, maybe even the mid 40s. You got two teams that have completely stopped the run already this season. Auburn's only given up a combined 49 rushing yards in their first two games. I know it was against weaker competition, but still that's impressive nonetheless. Penn State, Wisconsin ran the ball 58 times on Penn State, and Penn State was able to hold them to 3 yards per carry in that 16-10 win. I don't see as low a scoring game as we saw Penn State, Wisconsin, but I do see a similar tempo style of game between Auburn and Penn State. I could see a 24-20, maybe 27-24 final score, but nonetheless, I like the under in Auburn-Penn State.
I'm gonna have to roll. I'm gonna have to roll with the under as well. I just think that this one belongs to the defense. I also think points are going to come as a premium. So if they're going to give you points, you almost have to take them. On the other, as it brings us to the final game we're going to cover on this segment. We've got Tulane and Ole Miss. Tulane hung in there with Oklahoma in Norman, so not going to see anything here they haven't seen already this season. Ole Miss, the defense was alive against Louisville. Was it the Ole Miss defense or was it Louisville? I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, I would lean towards the former. I think it was actually the latter. I think Louisville was just not. Yeah, we saw them sharpen up in the second half on offense, and I do think Ole Miss's defense started to show some holes as that game went on. I like the over in this game. I think we see a complete opposite game as we'll see in Auburn, Penn State. You got Ole Miss, Matt Corral, arguably the best quarterback in the SEC, definitely one of the top QBs in the country. He's already thrown for 662 passing yards. I would be shocked to see Ole Miss with less than 40 or 50 points in this game. I see him having a 54-point score in this one. And then the other side, we've seen Tulane already put up 35 points against Oklahoma. Deerfield Beach product, Michael Pratt, he's played really well at the quarterback position. He already faced a tough secondary, like I mentioned, in Oklahoma. I think Tulane's offense is not going to get pushed around in this game. I think they're going to be able to put up a fight. This is one of, if not the steepest totals you're going to see this season at 76.5. I like the over. I think we could see 80, 90 points.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of scoring in this game as well. I'm less than sold on the Sooners. I always have been. So, a little lean here to the green wave of Tulane as well for me. But anyways, that wraps up today's, this week's Ron's Take. And we appreciate it. Of course, we'll see Ron next week. And you can always get free picks on all the games every day at sportschatplace.com. And if you're looking for the games we're betting, the ones we like the best, find those over at sportschatplace.com under the Premium Picks tab. Thanks, Ron. We'll see you next week. Week 4 action. I'm already looking ahead in the schedule, so I know it's a killer.